Hello Chameleon and welcome to my weekly Doctor Who reviews, and unfortunately this is going to be my last Doctor Who review because season 7 is officially finished. It's been a long, great, fantastic journey doing these reviews. I've really enjoyed doing them, from Asylum of the Dogs to the Christmas special in 2012 and of course now to the last episode, The Name of the Doctor. I've really enjoyed doing them, talking about the best episodes, the worst episodes and the weird episodes. It's been really great, really fantastic journey. I've really enjoyed doing these reviews and talking about one of my favourite TV shows, Doctor Who of course, and it's been an interesting series. I think the quality of episodes have been hit and miss in places, and I think some of the writing could have been definitely better in other bits. You can definitely tell they focus more energy on one episode than the other. So yeah, it's been an interesting series. I wouldn't say it's the worst, I wouldn't say it's the best, but I think it's been good considering what we got, what the mythology of the show is going into, and it's generally quite exciting. The last episode definitely was a really fantastic episode, and it definitely built up what I wanted it to. I knew certain things weren't going to happen because of just obvious reasons, but it did something a bit more clever, which was interesting. I like to see what the ending of this episode turns out to be within the 50th anniversary, of course, season 8 later on next year. So, further ado, let's talk about the last episode of season 7 and my final Doctor Who review. So let's talk about The Name of the Doctor. Why did you break up the sun? So I'd like to point out this is going to be a spoiler review before I start the actual review itself, mainly because there's so much I want to talk about in terms of twists and turns. So if you have not seen this episode yet, I will advise you, please do not watch this review until you have seen it, and then come back and we can discuss Doctor Who like geeks that we are, kind of thing. So the story for this episode follows the Doctor and Clara going to the one place in the universe the Doctor should never go, which is the Field of Trenzalore. Previously mentioned in past episodes like the Science of the Library, and just many other episodes. It's been a key establishing point in the Doctor Who mythology of the series, not just from season 4 onwards, but different episodes been mentioned here and there, kind of thing. And we've found out in this episode, which is a great twist, perfectly nice. I really enjoyed what the reveal was, and of course it is the Doctor's final resting place. It is of course the tomb or the grave of the Doctor. It's his last place before he actually did die, and I really like that kind of hard-hitting drama of the actual Doctor in this episode, because it's like, wow. I love the dialogue and I love the lines of the actual episode, and just the idea of the Doctor has to go to the one place he does not want to go, which is his grave. Fucking hell, that's horrible. I hate to imagine him doing that. My question is, Stephen Moffat, why have you been, have you put all your eggs in this one episode or something? Because you've delivered a fantastic episode, and yet some of your other episodes have been a bit weak. But my problem is with this series, now I want to talk about frankly here, it's relied a bit too much on a build-up. Now this build-up has been very well done, and it's linked to all the episodes of this series, and it's built up this kind of grand finale, in terms of the villain, in terms of Claire Osborne, and just in terms of just certain facts and things that we know of. And finally got this great twist, and things I'm going to mention later on. It's actually generally quite clever, and I really like it. But at the same time, I would have liked to have seen a bit more of a quality episode. It's one thing making an episode to link to the final episode, that's good and that's well done, but at the same time make the episode good. Okay, enough on that. But yes, so this is the final resting place of the Doctor, and of course an old enemy has returned. It is the Great Intelligence, which actually is quite surprising. I like to refer to a review that I did for the start of this series of Part 2 Season 7. I got a feeling that it's part of a bigger picture. Told you so. I knew that character was going to be a bigger villain. It just screamed bigger villain. It just seemed a bit too half-assed how he just disappeared at the end of that episode. And of course the Great Intelligence, of course, was in the Snowman episode, which the villain actually was generally quite good. I like the idea of the Whisper Man. I like the idea he's a Great Intelligence, he wants to revenge on the Doctor. And they don't kind of usually the typical Doctor Who fashion, they do the little hints here and there, but they said they focused more on what Claire Osborne is instead of who the actual villain is. The villain was kind of side character, generally quite good, very effective for the episode, and they used the villain quite well, with all fairness. And I really like what this episode did in terms of revealing who Claire Osborne is, really more about the Doctor, and more about River Song again. It's just a great mythology episode, just done really well. I really like the fact that they use stock footage from the previous classic Doctor Who's, getting Tom Baker and William Arnold, and I love the fact they go back to Gallifrey as well, and you see how he stole the actual first TARDIS. Fantastic, really, really well done. I really liked how they did it all. It's great. I mean, to be perfectly honest, even though we haven't, at the moment that I don't know of, we haven't got any of the old Doctor Who's, the classic Doctor Who's within the 50th anniversary that I know of, any at the moment. It's really great to see, the previous Doctor Who's again, some of the quotes and the dialogue, and just, even though some of them are stuntmen, obviously wearing the jackets and the clothes in some of the shots, really well done. I think it's generally quite pleasant. It brings back, it makes it a full circle of Doctor Who to bring back the original classic, Doctors, and just some of the quotes and lines, and I really like the opening of the episode was really well done. Definitely a lot of drama in this episode. I really like the relationship, a lot of the characters between, of course, the Doctor and Clara and River Song. Wow, fantastic, just some great scenes and just like wow moments, really, really great. One of the things I didn't like was the fact that, spoiler alert of course, Jenny gets killed in the opening of the episode. I would have liked it if they actually had the balls and actually say, yes, Jenny's dead, they kill the Jenny off, or maybe kill off all the characters. If you're gonna go to that extra mile, make it hit hard, make it like, ooh, we want the Doctor to succeed, we want the Doctor to kind of, defeat this, this kind of villain of the episode. But of course, just bring it back within 2 seconds, easy done. I suppose that's a bit of a cheat, and Doctor Who does cheat a lot within Death, definitely. We've known that from definitely last seasons, of course, and even characters get killed off, or assume that we're never going to see him again, of course, do come back. But I would like to maybe just a bit that once, maybe just to kind of make it a bit more full circle, to link it to the other seasons, maybe. But oh well. Who Claire Oswald is, and we find out what her connection is to the Doctor and why she is the impossible girl. We find out that within this episode, of course, the Friends of Translaw is the final place of the actual Doctor, the graveside, and when he opens the actual tomb, the actual last place, the Doctor, we see like this kind of bright light, this kind of outer shell of the actual Doctor. He's basically the core version, the print version of the Doctor entity. That's this kind of spirit, if that's the correct way of wording it. And I really liked how the idea like Claire Oswald has to save the Doctor by jumping into the actual light and the actual spirit, and basically copying herself all the way up, throughout the Doctor's timeline to basically save him from the actual great intelligence. So it's kind of like an unknown kind of, Claire Oswald is saving the Doctor from the very beginning, all the way back on Gallifrey, left, right and centre, giving him tips, just saving him here and there. And I really like the idea of that, and that's what makes the Claire Oswald appearing, of course, the Son of the Daleks and the Snowman, and just how she's appeared now, and it's just really, really well done. I feel like they're still going to expand upon that. It doesn't feel like they're quite done yet by the judging of the last episode, so I'm curious to see what else they're going to bring. But that's the reveal of Claire Oswald. She's basically sacrificed herself, jumping into the actual the actual light, the spirit of the Doctor, and saving the Doctor throughout all of his timelines, everywhere else, up to the 11th Doctor, of course. And it's really well done. That's a great reveal. That's a great twist, and I really liked it. It wasn't stupid or silly or anything along those lines. It actually made a hell of a lot of sense, and a lot of the connections with the last couple of episodes and the links with the episodes linking up to that, and it makes a hell of a lot of sense. So great twist there, Stephen Moffat, well done, great stuff. And we kind of established already that there's kind of a link between her and River Song. Interesting, I don't know what's that about. Of course, we've got River Song in this episode. She hasn't really been in much in this series, apart from maybe first season onward. She was pretty active, but not really much. And we find a kind of post library episode, well, post River Song, where she's basically, she's already been established, she's dead, she's been uploaded to the computer, and she's there. And I really like the scene where the Doctor and River Song, kiss, because it's just like, we found out since season 4 that she's the Doctor's wife, and I've never actually felt like that they actually are wife. I can't really see it, and that moment right there sold me to saying, yes, this is the Doctor's wife. The Doctor hugely cares about her, and he is heartbrokenly, he's basically heartbroken that she is dead and she's gone. And we reveal our softer side of the Doctor, and it's just great. When that kiss happened, it was one of those moments where like, wow, that was great. It showed another side of the Doctor I've just never seen before, and it's just done so well. And I'm looking forward to what they expand upon that with her, with the Doctor and River Song within future episodes. That was just a very effective scene, and I found it was just done really, really well. We also have the returning characters, of course, have Jane, and of course we have the Sontaran and the reptile, and they're actually pretty good in the episode. They're pretty decent, and they actually, of course, they expand the story, and they become a bit of a kind kind of a sub-companions within the actual series, especially within this series, definitely. And I think they worked really, really well together as a team, and I like the conversations between them and the Doctor, and they're great characters, and I really like them in this episode. And now, of course, the obvious thing in this episode is, of course, the title, which is called The Name of the Doctor. Now, of course, a bit of a spoiler alert for people who haven't watched it, of course, sorry. We do not actually find out what the name of the Doctor is, and right, we shouldn't, to be perfectly honest. We should never know what the name of the Doctor is. That's something should be saved maybe until the very last episode of Doctor Who ever, until it's finished. We should never know what the name of the Doctor is. And it's very similar to like the last season with the wedding of the Doctor. It wasn't actually the wedding. So they won't do it. I knew they wouldn't. But what they did instead, they did something generally quite smart, and they actually threw me off track a little bit, and they did something very clever. And the idea of like him jumping into his own kind of time stream to save Claire Osborne, and I really like that ending shot. The last couple of minutes, you get to see like stock footage of the Doctors, and you know, obviously stuntmen wearing the jackets and the clothes from previous Doctors, which is really well done. And obviously Claire Osborne is just collapsed on the floor. She's just the original core version of her, I think, is not quite there, perfectly honest. But in the fact she split herself into thousands of pieces throughout different timelines for the Doctor, I think there's still more to be told there, and I really like. At that last figure, we see like a person standing, looking over at this giant scope, this giant world, and we're not sure who it is. And I'm thinking, who is that? Who is that? And of course, we find out it is the Doctor. Basically, it is John Hurt as the Doctor, which is genius. John Hurt's the Doctor. I love the fact that it is John Hurt, because he's a great actor, and I'm finding out he's the actual Doctor, or maybe the last Doctor, or maybe a Time War Doctor is a great choice. And I know for a fact that he's in the 50th anniversary special, so I don't know what they're going to do with that. Basically, we've got 3 Doctors. We've got Matt Smith, we've got David Tennant, we've got John Hurt. All 3 Doctors within the 50th anniversary confirmed. We might have more Doctors for all I know. Very well done, and I really like that little conversation scene between Matt Smith and that Doctor. I just love it when he just turns around and he just reveals him. Oh, so good. As a Doctor Who fan, that's like, holy shit. And I'm really excited to find out which version it is. What does this mean for the show? I mean, if that's the future Doctors, do we find out already? Is that the actual Doctor we're going to be seeing in the future episodes when Matt Smith leaves? Interesting to see. I'm really excited to see what they do with the character and what version of that Doctor it is, because it seems like a very damaged Doctor. It seems like a very angry Doctor by the looks of it, because the way Matt Smith looked at him, it seems like he was in fear. Because this is a Doctor which we have not seen yet. I'm pretty confident it's a future version of him, being the fact that Claire Osborne didn't even recognise him, so I'm pretty confident this is actually going to be the future version of the Doctor, maybe the 12th Doctor, the 13th Doctor maybe. But we'll see what happens. Looking forward to the 50th anniversary, of course. Great reveal, great twist, great ending to the show, and it's a really well done episode. The drama's done well, the action scenes are done well, the villain was done well, the twists are done very well, and yeah, it was just a great episode all around. Really fantastic way to end the series. Looking forward to the 50th anniversary. So there you go, folks. That is The Name of the Doctor. That's my final thoughts and opinions. I'd love to discuss Doctor Review more. If you've seen this episode already and you want to discuss it, comment down below. We have a bit of a discussion. I'm thinking of maybe doing a kind of Google Hangout video where I invite certain people. If you're a Doctor Who fan and you want to talk about Doctor Who for maybe an hour or so, maybe on like a live stream YouTube event, I'd love to do that. Comment down below. We'll arrange something along those lines maybe for tomorrow if you're interested in doing that. So yeah, comment down below. What is your thoughts on this episode? Love to know your opinions. What is your thoughts on the season overall? Love to know. So that has been my review for The Name of the Doctor. Hope you enjoy watching this review. Hope you enjoy watching these reviews I've been doing for the past, good couple of months, I have to say. Definitely a good past year now. So I've been really enjoying doing these reviews, and thank you for watching them. So in the meantime, Andrew from UTV, signing out.